In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NFL games happening on October 22, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NFL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Green Bay Packers vs. Denver Broncos. Following a well-deserved bye week, the Green Bay Packers venture into the thin Denver atmosphere, aiming to be the latest team to compound the Denver Broncos' woes in an already painful season. Broncos head coach Sean Payton has had a trying year, and his Denver Broncos have been far from stellar. This comes after a summer of brashness from Payton, who criticized the previous coaching regime for their poor performance with the Broncos a year ago. A clearance sale of talent looms for the Broncos as their season spirals into another bout of futility. The question arises as to how long Payton will remain at the helm, as each week seems to add more blemishes to his record. The fact that the Broncos have yet to cover a point spread this year raises significant concerns. Even their solitary win, a 31-28 victory over Chicago as -3 road favorites, was a result of a colossal collapse by the Bears, who surrendered 24 unanswered points in the final 15 minutes of the game after holding a 28-7 lead over Payton's Denver squad. Regrettably, there isn't much positivity surrounding this Broncos team, but perhaps a win in this upcoming game could help alter that narrative. The question lingers: will Denver finally rise to the occasion and secure their first against the spread victory of the year? From a betting perspective, this game lends itself to in-game opportunities, where you might find both sides at plus money prices. Given the expectations of a closely contested match with multiple lead changes, neither team seems poised to dominate. The defensive capabilities of both sides are questionable, suggesting that neither can confidently maintain a lead for an extended duration. Considering the high yards per play figures for both offenses, it's reasonable to believe that no underdog money line should ever be written off. In terms of a pregame wager, it's Denver that holds a bit more allure, particularly since they are playing at home, and this is the first occasion that Jordan Love, Green Bay's quarterback, will be exposed to Denver's unique environmental conditions. With these elements favoring the Broncos, if one side indeed ends up leading for most of the game, it's more likely to be Denver. The Green Bay Packers have spent minimal time in the lead throughout the season. The Green Bay Packers have struggled to instill confidence in their playoff potential. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games, with their sole win during this span being a narrow 18-17 victory against the Saints. This team has also lost 2 consecutive road games, including a loss to the Falcons, and mustered only 17 points in their recent outing. In contrast, the Broncos have displayed a more potent offense than the Packers. Russell Wilson is superior to Jordan Love, who has been a source of disappointment, having thrown 5 interceptions in his last 2 games. Denver's defense showcased resilience last week, limiting the Chiefs to just 19 points on the road, a commendable feat. The Broncos' running game is expected to thrive in this contest, boasting an impressive 4.9 yards per rush, ranking them 4th in the NFL. In contrast, the Packers' rush defense ranks near the bottom at 28th. The Packers have had a single commanding victory over the Bears a few weeks ago, where they never trailed. Yet, outside of that performance, they've seldom held leads in their games, especially in the 4th quarter. This history informs our reluctance to endorse the Packers as narrow road favorites in this pregame scenario, as there's every indication that they might spend considerable time trailing. So the Denver Broncos to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. With a total set at somewhere around 45, it's remarkably close to the average points both teams score per game. Green Bay posts an average of 23 points, while Denver scores around 21.5 points per game. Nevertheless, this non-conference encounter takes place after a period of extended rest for both teams, affording them additional time to strategize against 2 defensively vulnerable teams. Moreover, the recency bias stemming from last week's 12 games staying under the total, coupled with both teams residing in the lower echelons of the league, sets the stage for a total that falls somewhat short of the mark. Given these considerations and the likelihood of a closely fought match between two desperate teams, our prediction is that this will be a high-scoring affair. The Packers' defense has been subpar, conceding 25 points against the fledgling Falcons' offense and 34 points against the Lions. The Broncos, playing at home, have managed to score 54 points in their last two home games. Additionally, the Packers' offensive capability should be on full display against the Broncos' struggling defense, which ranks unfavorably in numerous categories. The Broncos have allowed a minimum of 28 points in 4 of their last 5 games, including 31 points against the lackluster Jets offense. The over has been successful in 4 out of the Broncos' last 5 games. With neither side capable of trusting their defense to secure a victory, the onus falls on their offenses to put up sufficient points to ward off late-game challenges. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Los Angeles Chargers versus Kansas City Chiefs. On a pivotal Sunday afternoon, the Kansas City Chiefs welcomed the Los Angeles Chargers to GEH Field at Arrowhead Stadium for a crucial American Football Conference West showdown. The Chargers come into this game fresh off a recent loss, and they aim to upset the reigning American Football Conference powerhouse. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are riding high with a 5-game winning streak after an opening week defeat, positioning themselves precisely where they aspired to be at this juncture in the season. Still, they remain determined not to ease their grip on the gas pedal. The Chiefs have secured 3 consecutive victories in head-to-head meetings, with each of the last 4 encounters ending with a touchdown or less of separation. This upcoming clash is anticipated to be another thrilling, tightly contested matchup that promises high drama. The Los Angeles Chargers' historical inability to retain leads, regardless of their size, has been a persistent concern that predates Justin Herbert's tenure. Their recent Monday night loss to the Cowboys unfolded as a nightmarish performance, marred by an alarming total of 9 accepted penalties, despite having extra preparation time following a bye week. This conspicuous sloppiness permeated nearly every aspect of their game, at times overshadowed by the Cowboys' equally lackluster performance. The Chargers' offensive line deserves a share of the blame, racking up 6 penalties, 3 of which were holding calls. One such infraction effectively extinguished a fourth-quarter drive, which had been revived when the Cowboys mishandled a punt, allowing the Chargers' special teams to recover it. Despite the Cowboys managing only 1 sack, courtesy of Micah Parsons just after the 2-minute warning, they consistently applied pressure to Justin Herbert, recording 8 quarterback hits and disrupting his throws on nearly every dropback. While the Chargers unquestionably need to improve their performance, Los Angeles bettors can find some optimism as they venture into Missouri. The Chargers have demonstrated an impressive track record against the Kansas City Chiefs when it comes to beating the spread, boasting an impressive 5-1-0 against the spread record in their last 6 matchups dating back to 2020. Notably, in 3 of these encounters, the point spread was set at 5.5 points or more, mirroring the spread for their upcoming game. Conversely, the Chiefs have struggled to cover the spread against American Football Conference West teams, with a 7-12 against the spread record against divisional rivals since 2020. This underlines the challenges they've encountered in recent years when facing their divisional counterparts. Lastly, the legendary presence of the Chargers superfan, Marion Dew, caught the attention of national audiences, both positively and negatively, after being prominently featured on TV throughout the week. During their most recent game on Thursday night, the Kansas City Chiefs claimed their 16th consecutive victory against the Denver Broncos. This victory marked their 5th straight win of the season, positioning the Chiefs at the top of the American Football Conference with a 5-1 record. Nevertheless, the post-game discussions in the locker room centered not on the victory itself but on the unconvincing manner in which it was achieved. While the Chiefs' defense effectively stifled Russell Wilson and the Broncos for the majority of the game, conceding Denver's only touchdown midway through the 4th quarter, Patrick Mahomes and the offense struggled to capitalize on their opportunities. They managed just 1 touchdown in 5 red zone trips and heavily relied on 4 field goals by Harrison Butker, including a remarkable 60-yarder as the first half expired. Even the revered head coach, Andy Reid, acknowledged the need for improvement, expressing a desire to reach a higher level of performance. To enhance their offense, Kansas City executed a trade to acquire wide receiver Mecole Hardman Jr. from the New York Jets. This move is expected to inject new energy into the Chiefs' already formidable lineup. The The Kansas City Chiefs have faced struggles against the spread within their American Football Conference West Division, registering a subpar 7-12 against the spread record when confronting divisional opponents since 2020. This underlines their challenges in meeting betting expectations when pitted against familiar rivals. When focusing on the matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers specifically, their against the spread record against this American Football Conference West opponent stands at a mere 1-5, a clear demonstration of their difficulties in covering the spread against this specific divisional rival. However, when straying from divisional matchups and facing teams from outside their division, the Chiefs have maintained a winning against the spread record since 2020, boasting a more respectable 24-22 against the spread record. This implies a better performance when competing against teams from other divisions. Considering the Kansas City Chiefs against the spread struggles within the American Football Conference West, especially against the Los Angeles Chargers, and their less convincing 1-5 against the spread record against the Chargers since 2020, there is a compelling argument for taking the Chargers with the points. The Chargers have consistently kept their games against the Chiefs close, and historical against the spread trends suggest that the upcoming game could be tighter than the 5.5-point spread suggests. The Chargers have managed to stay competitive even when not securing victory, and there is ample potential for a close game once more. This game presents a compelling case for either side, particularly considering the rest advantage held by Kansas City. Nonetheless, with a history of closely contested meetings and the Chiefs playing many recent games with narrow margins, the value in taking nearly a touchdown with the Los Angeles Chargers cannot be overlooked. So the Los Angeles Chargers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Chargers' offensive potential is undeniable, but they have at times faltered due to mistakes. In addition, the Chargers coach, Brandon Staley, has faced criticism for his play calling. Against the stout Kansas City defense, scoring won't come as easily as it has in previous weeks. For the Chiefs, they have shifted their focus away from relying on home run plays, emphasizing a more balanced ground game. This tactical adjustment has proved beneficial, enabling them to manage the clock more effectively and reduce the Chargers' offensive opportunities. The under has hit in each of Los Angeles' last 3 games and also in both of Kansas City's last 2 games. Since 2022, the Chiefs have accumulated an over-under record of 11 over and 15 under. Similarly, the Chargers have posted a 10-12 to 1 over-under record during the same time frame. Additionally, the Chargers have a 2-5 over-under record against American Football Conference West opponents since 2022, indicating their capacity to engage in lower scoring affairs within their division. Given these trends, it is reasonable to anticipate that this game will culminate with a lower total score. Despite the Chiefs consistently achieving success within their division, Andy Reid's teams typically prioritize winning games over surpassing over-under totals and the spread. While these two teams have typically engaged in high-scoring encounters, the Kansas City Chiefs' recently transformed style of play, with an emphasis on a balanced offense and improved defense, is likely to result in fewer points in this edition of their rivalry. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Miami Dolphins versus Philadelphia Eagles. Week 7 of the NFL delivers a marquee interconference clash set under the bright lights in the city of brotherly love. The Miami Dolphins hit the road, venturing to face the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football. Miami enters this showdown fresh off a dominant 42-21 victory over the Carolina Panthers, successfully covering the line as 14-point favorites. In contrast, the Eagles stumbled with a shocking 20-14 loss to the New York Jets at home, falling short as 6.5-point favorites. Historically, the Dolphins hold a 9-6 series lead over the Eagles in regular season matchups, securing victories in their last 2 encounters, including a 37-31 win in their most recent clash on December 1, 2019. This nationally televised spectacle promises to be one of the most highly anticipated games of the season. The anticipation is heightened following the recent losses of both the 49ers and the Eagles, which dissolved the last pair of undefeated NFL teams, leaving none. The Eagles are seeking redemption on their home turf against one of the league's top teams. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that these two teams could face off again in February for Super Bowl 58. Adding intrigue to this meeting is the second consecutive week of showdowns between quarterbacks who are alumni of the University of Alabama, with Tua Tagovailoa and Miami facing off against Bryce Young of Carolina in the previous week. Beneath the fanfare and excitement, let's focus on the core aspects and seek the value against the spread. The home-road dynamics that both teams have exhibited this season play a significant role. First, consider the Miami-Buffalo game on the Dolphins side. Before this Philadelphia matchup, this game against their divisional rivals was a high-priority affair for Miami early in the season. However, in that contest, Miami struggled, only scoring 20 points and failing to establish offensive rhythm. Moreover, Tagovailoa faced relentless pressure, being sacked 4 times and throwing an interception, while running back Mostert fumbled. The Bills, in contrast, displayed offensive efficiency and controlled the line of scrimmage, enabling Josh Allen to exploit the secondary. The Dolphins fell short, losing 48-20 as 3-point underdogs. Earlier in the season, the Dolphins secured a victory over the Patriots in Foxborough, but their scoring output was limited to 23 points, significantly below their season average, hinting at a road pattern. On the Philadelphia side, the Eagles excelled in their 2 home games, defeating the Vikings and Washington with 34 points in each game, a substantial 8 points above their seasonal average, providing them with a distinct home advantage. When examining offensive efficiency, Philadelphia leads the league with an impressive 50.57% third down conversion rate, a remarkable figure for NFL standards, while Miami's rate lags behind at 44%. This statistic underscores Philadelphia's ability to control the line of scrimmage and call plays tailored to specific situations. This ability also contributes to Philadelphia's advantage in time of possession. This season, the Eagles have held the ball for an average of 35 minutes and 7 seconds per game. Miami's high-scoring offense has led to favorable odds for this game, positioning the Eagles as smaller favorites than they should be. The talk revolves around the Dolphins and their ability to score prolifically, but their victories have come against teams like the Patriots, Broncos, Giants, and Panthers, whose combined record is 3-21. In fact, the best team they've beaten this season is the Chargers, who are 2-3. The Chargers game in the first week of the season was a nail-biter, with a final score of 36-34. On the other hand, Philadelphia's schedule, while not the toughest in the NFL, has featured more formidable opponents, with key road wins against Tampa Bay and the Rams. Notably, the Eagles limited the Los Angeles Rams, the NFL's 7th best offense, to just 14 points in Los Angeles. Philadelphia should have comfortably beaten the Jets last week, but they appeared to lack focus, potentially looking ahead to this matchup against the Dolphins. In the end, it served as a wake-up call. While Miami has been an offensive juggernaut this season, the challenge lies in proving themselves against a quality team. The Dolphins have 5 wins, but those victories have come against teams with a combined record of 5-29. Translating to a meager .172 winning percentage. 4 of the 5 teams have either 0 or just 1 win, with the Chargers being the most accomplished at 2-3. In their solitary encounter against a strong opponent, the Bills routed the Dolphins 48-20 in Week 4. Philadelphia's loss to the Jets last week is likely a negative indicator for Miami, as the Eagles are now highly motivated following that setback. Philadelphia hopes to have cornerback Darius Slay back for this game, which would be crucial for their success. Until Miami's defense proves itself in a challenging game, particularly against a potent offense, caution is warranted. The Eagles are fully focused on this showdown at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Once they establish their ground game, they will exploit the Dolphins' injury-plagued secondary, outperforming the Dolphins' offense, which will face a stern test against the Eagles' defense. So the Philadelphia Eagles to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. This matchup boasts the highest total on the board. Philadelphia's offense had a wake-up call last week. In their game against the Jets, the Eagles posted their lowest point total of the season, finishing with just 14 points. The game exposed various deficiencies in their play. Former Eagles quarterback Donovan McNabb even suggested that there was discord between quarterback Jalen Hurts and coach Nick Sirianni, asserting that the Eagles had deviated from their identity as a power offense. Whether McNabb's assessment is accurate or not, the Eagles spent the week refining their offensive schemes, emphasizing the qualities that have established them as a top NFL offense. In this game against the Dolphins, they will aim to display their high-scoring prowess. Philadelphia tallied 34 points in both of their home games this season, and both games went over the total. Expect a high-scoring affair in the range of the high 30s to low 40s from the Eagles. The Dolphins are scoring an astounding number of points when playing on their home turf in Miami, averaging 48 points. Nevertheless, their performance on the road has been less convincing. In fact, their road game against Buffalo, where they scored just 20 points, stands as their lowest point total of the season. Despite that game, the Dolphins have still managed to average 27 points on the road. Head coach Mike McDaniel, a Yale graduate, will use the lessons learned from the Bills game to ensure the Dolphins are prepared to maintain pace with the Eagles. Anticipate the Dolphins pushing the tempo and placing the Eagles' defense on the back foot. Additionally, when the Dolphins enter the red zone, they consistently score touchdowns, boasting an impressive 80.8% touchdown conversion rate compared to the league average of 55%. Miami has gone over the total in 4 of their 6 games this season, including 2 of their 3 road contests. Their game against the Chargers on September 10th resulted in a total of 70 points, while they combined with New England for 41 points on September 17th and 68 points in their loss to the Bills on October 1st. Philadelphia, on the other hand, has experienced a balanced outcome regarding totals, with 3 games going over and 3 going under. However, both of their home games this season went over the number, with a combined 62 points against Minnesota on September 14th and 65 points in their overtime victory over Washington on October 1st. Both teams possess strong offensive units, while their defenses are still finding their footing. This promises an exciting and high-scoring prime-time affair, featuring star playmakers on both sides of the ball. Despite bookmakers setting a relatively high total, it still may not be high enough. Both teams have potent offenses, and the defenses have room for improvement. Therefore, we anticipate an exciting, high-scoring encounter for prime-time football. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.